BBC would never be allowed to broadcast any message from Jesus, because Jesus told us to love our neighbours. And if the Archbishop of Canterbury read the Ten Commandments, it might upset the Israeli government. Now, I say this to you because it's very important that we remember who we are. I tell you who we are today. We are the human race. Here, it doesn't matter whether you're a Muslim, a Jew, a Christian, a Buddhist, an atheist, whether you're black or white, doesn't matter. We are people. And this is a people's voice demanding justice. And I am absolutely sure that we are going to win this, and I believe by nightfall the BBC will have changed its mind. And I tell you one way in which they could change their mind. I think the producers and the presenters and all the people who work in every programme of the BBC should do something very simple. They should broadcast the address of the Disaster Emergency Committee. I'd like to hear the sports correspondent say, before we go to the big match, I'd like you to know the Disaster Emergency Committee is box 999 in E3 3AA. And you see, you can't sack a journalist for giving a telephone number to save lives. You can't do it. And therefore what we are doing today is not just talking to the top bosses of the BBC. I wouldn't bother with them. I'm talking to the journalists, to the presenters, to all the people who have the opportunity of broadcasting, to tell the world how to help the people of Gaza. My God, they've suffered. I know how they feel because I lived in London during the Blitz in 1940. 30,000 people were killed in London during that Blitz. I was a kid of 15. Every night I went to the shelter. I was frightened. Came up in the morning, 500 people killed where I lived. London burning, the church I went to bombed. And it's no good pretending that you can ignore that human suffering in the interests of what the BBC call impartiality. How can you be impartial between life and death? You can't be impartial. And therefore, what we're doing today is of great importance. I think this is a momentous day that will be recorded in the history of the Middle East and the history of this country, because people like us got together and said we will not allow others to die when we have an opportunity to save their lives. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Good luck.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Brothers and sisters, part of this coalition is our sister organisation, the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, which campaigns tirelessly for the issue of Palestine. And today happens to be their annual general meeting, but still we have dozens, possibly even hundreds of their supporters and members here with us today, and we'll have even more when we march towards Trafalgar Square. Our next speaker is one of the figures of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign. He's also one of the figures of the Stop the War movement. He also comes from a part of London which is active in supporting this particular campaign. All the way from Islington, the MP from the Labour Party. Please welcome Jeremy Corbyn.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for responding to the call and being here today, because it is important and it matters. It matters to people in Gaza and people on the West Bank to know that in London today, thousands are demonstrating in solidarity, in support. They need to know that we are with them. It also matters that we are concerned about the quality of the message that people get. I, like all of you, I'm sure, have watched with horror what's gone on in the past 4 weeks in Gaza. We watched in horror before as the people of Gaza lived in poverty and unemployment, with shortage of medicine, clean water, shortage of education, shortage of all the necessities of life, as Israel maintained that disgraceful, disgusting and illegal blockade of those people. The BBC reported most of that as though it was some kind of proportionate response by Israel to the rockets that Hamas were firing at that time. Never mind, there were hardly any fired during all of the summer months. And then the war itself begun, a wanton act of aggression by Israel, not an immediate response, something that had been planned for months, if not a year or more. They knew the coordinates of every building. They knew what to punch into the global positioning system in order to make sure that their terror weapons landed on a particular building, be it a school, a mosque, a home or a hospital, be it a road or a food convoy. They knew exactly what they were doing. The use of phosphorus, depleted uranium and cluster bombs are evil and illegal. The rebombing of places bombed before with phosphorus to try and hide the evidence this time will not work. The Israeli leadership, be they cabinet ministers, army officers or anybody else who targeted those weapons on those innocent civilians, need to be hauled before the International Criminal Court to be treated as war criminals for what they are. And the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, a public service broadcasting corporation, has a responsibility to broadcast fairly, to represent opinion, and not to act as a power of veto to prevent the big hearts and humanitarian instincts of everyone in this country giving to help the people of Gaza. Thank you for coming today. Stand together with the people of Palestine for their liberation, their freedom and their recognition. It is our duty. Thank you.